Hi, I'm Jessica Swank, and for my Psychology 201 presentation, I'm going to talk about sleep, and I'm going to talk about sleep because it's probably my favorite thing to do. So, the first thing I'm going to talk about is why do we sleep? And every single person has to sleep to survive. And a huge reason why people sleep is because of these biological rhythms. And biological rhythms are a natural cycle of activity that the body has to go through. We can have these cycles monthly or daily, and then one of the biological rhythms that happen daily is a sleep-wake cycle. And this sleep-wake cycle really means that it takes a day to complete, so this means that people will probably sleep several hours in a 24-hour period, which most people do. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the importance of sleep. Sleep is obviously important, so when somebody doesn't get enough sleep, it's not a good thing. When a person has not had enough sleep, they can have these microsleeps throughout the day. And microsleeps are brief moments of sleep lasting only seconds. Though these only last seconds, it can be very dangerous for a person who's driving a car. So if you fall asleep for a couple seconds while you're driving a car, that's enough to get into a crash. So the next thing is sleep deprivation, which means loss of sleep. Sleep deprivation is a serious problem, and many go without realizing it. And when somebody doesn't sleep enough, they have concentration problems, and people lose information they've learned throughout the day if they don't sleep at night. And physical and mental functioning can be a problem if somebody is sleep deprived. So the next thing is the types of sleep. There are two kinds of sleep, and they are REM sleep and non-REM sleep. REM means rapid eye movement, and REM sleep is a psychological active time of sleep when most people's dreaming takes place. And non-REM sleep spans from lighter stages to deeper, more restful kinds of sleep. In REM sleep, people move very little compared to non-REM sleep where a person's able to move around. So the next thing is stages of sleep. There are 4 stages of sleep. The first stage is light sleep, and this is where many things can happen. If a person is awoken from this sleep, they will probably not believe that they were asleep. And this is where people experience these vivid visual events like hallucinations. This is where researchers believe that people think that they are being abducted by aliens or things like that. And the second stage is sleep spindles, and this is the stage where people's body temperature continues to drop and their heart rate slows, and people's breathing becomes shallow and irregular. Sleep spindles occur here, and this means that people have brief bursts of activity lasting only seconds or two. And if people are awoken from this stage, they know that they've been sleeping. The third and fourth stages are where the delta waves roll in, and these waves increase during this stage from about 20% to 50% of the total brain activity. And this is the point where the person is in the deepest sleep and the body is at its lowest point of functioning. And people in this sleep are very hard to awaken. And if somebody is awoken by something during this time, they are disoriented and confused. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is a few of the sleep disorders, not all of them. So the first one is nightmares, and these are bad dreams that can sometimes be very terrifying. Children have more nightmares than adults do because they spend more time in REM state than adults. And REM behavior disorder goes along with nightmares, and this REM behavior disorder is a rare disorder where a person can thrash around during a nightmare and even get up and act out their nightmare. And this happens to people usually over 60. And then the last thing is night terrors. And this is a rare disorder and happens more in children than adults have them. And night terror is a state of panic experienced while sound asleep, and some people tend to scream or run around a room, and most people cannot remember what happened during their night terror. So that's all I have about sleep, so thank you and goodbye.